Rav Aviner has a truth out there, which I didn't see the other one. I heard them talking about it, so I can't address it directly. He was talking about burial of the enemy. Ooh, wow. Does the enemy deserve burial? And the let's just make a few statements in background. The halacha demands that the wicked be buried. The halacha demands that no human body, whether Jew or Gentile, wicked or righteous, be destroyed. Yes, there was this symbolic act that they would do. They would hang certain people. The Beis Din is supposed to hang the wicked after execution to show people don't do like this, but that was for a short while. The king could leave them hanging for a longer time in order to make a point, to, as the Rambam says, to break the arm of the wicked. Perhaps the Beis Din could make an exception or two. But ultimately, the Beis Din had to bury everybody. Everybody is to be granted burial. No cremations, no burials at sea, no feeding bodies to wild animals, no dumping in a garbage dump. It actually has to be buried. So that's the halach with regards to wicked people who are executed by the Beis Din. And also anybody who happens to die. Anybody who happens to die is human. He was creating God's image, and therefore he deserves a proper burial. But what about a victorious Jewish army? God smote the Assyrians on Passover, right? The Sanherib's army, 186,000 men, were all dead in the morning of Passover. God created a miracle, great miracle. Was it the Jewish people's job to bury all those dead soldiers? Or they actually went off to war and they had a stunning victory, a disproportionate victory. A Jewish army of 1,000 men, hand chosen for their righteousness, were able to smite tens of thousands. Whose responsibility is it to bury the enemy? So if we were in the land of Israel, I would imagine that it's not proper for us. We repelled such an army to leave such bodies around it, and yes, we would have to bury them. Mass grave would be okay. It doesn't say everybody gets their own grave, but obviously we wouldn't want such things lying around. But what about in foreign countries? If the Jewish people had to, I don't know, let's say Persia back in the day had used its catapults from very far away and tried to hurl all sorts of projectiles onto the land of Israel, and somehow God saved them. And then the Jewish people went and smote the Persians so that they would not ever again dare to try to harm the people of Israel. And they smote, God willing, millions and millions of these wicked people. Do they then have a responsibility toward all these corpses in a foreign land? Do they have a responsibility to clean it up, to go and bury them? And I would imagine no. We just leave it there. Chazal already said that the land of the foreigners is impure. That was their gzera. We have no responsibility to clean up after them, especially if we've killed all of them. There are many verses in the books of the prophets which say that it's sort of a comeuppance, that upon losing and being destroyed by God, that their corpses, for example, will be food for all the animals. And that's in a few places in Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. It's like that. Rav Aviner said that actually it is explicit concerning this cataclysmic war in the future, the war of Gog and Magog, that what would happen? The Jewish people would bury all of the corpses of all those who came to attack Am Yisrael in this final war. And once again, like to point out, yeah, but it doesn't mean we have a responsibility to bury them. This is talking about cleaning the land, v'tiaru et haaretz. We have to keep Eretz Yisrael pure. I guess if we were going to be annexing land that's adjacent to Eretz Yisrael, yes, it would also be a responsibility to make sure that's purified by, once again, taking all the tumat mate, all the dead, and properly, I wouldn't say disposing of that, properly burying all of them. But once we're dealing with a foreign land, then perhaps there is no such need. And on the contrary, it's sort of a blessing of the Torah that we get such radically disproportionate victories over our enemies. Okay, so that is yet to be seen. I really wonder what a Sanhedrin would say about such a thing.